Welcome back to the self-made training facility, Coaches Corner. Here with Coach Jarvis. We got a short one for you today, but we're going to first start with Jarvis's prep and how his prep is going. So for your first show, how many weeks out are we right now?
Right now, we're currently, this week is 5 weeks out.
5 weeks out. Where's that show at?
June 6th, San Diego.
Okay. Is this going to be a warm-up show for you for the national shows coming up?
It's a warm-up show for you and all the fans.
Warm
It's time for me to get back on stage and show them what Chocolate Thunder's all about.
Oh. Don't Google Chocolate Thunder.
Don't do it. Please don't.
But so we're doing San Diego show. What's the name of that show?
San Diego's Championships.
Is it San Diego Championships?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did the show not last year, but the previous year, and I actually did very well. I think I got first place in it.
That was the first show I did when I moved back to America in 2000. Well, I moved back in 2014, 2015. I did that show with Pete Ciccone down there.
Nice.
And it's probably like the kickoff to the season. There's already been a few shows out there, but they're usually pretty small.
Yeah.
And this is like the first one where like the crowds start getting a little bit bigger.
Right.
So we get to test the waters a little bit. So let's say we do well, we win the overall. What's step 2?
Nationals.
Nationals, you go to USA's in Vegas in July, or Masters first?
If I'm able to hit the next first national show, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
My goal is to turn pro.
Even like junior nationals, anything like that, you'll go to.
Whatever show is there that I can afford to go to, I can make it to that stage, I'm going to be there.
So check the GoFundMe to send Chocolate Thunder to nationals. If we start sending money to Chocolate Thunder, there'd be some problems.
I know, right?
Might get canceled.
We definitely get canceled.
Cool. So then, all right. So say we do well, we do that show. Then you have USA's in July, Masters in Pittsburgh at the end of July, and then our September, October. Shoot, there's a couple shows that come up after that. North Americans. I think there's also the Universe 4th of July weekend,
right,
in Jersey. So shout out to my boy Michael. He's from New Jersey, out there behind us right now, doing his hip thrust. David, stop looking.
Detective determined that was a lie.
That's what I'm heading next year. Is Universe out in New Jersey in the 4th of July weekend.
It's nice out there. I did a couple times.
Yeah.
That show, yeah.
I'll do that, and then you see how that goes. If not, then Pittsburgh, and after that, then I'm old and retired.
Okay.
But anyway, leads us into our topic for today, which is PEDs in 2026. Are we any smarter, or are we more reckless? So we have a lot more education around performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, growth hormone, peptides than we did years ago. For all the peptide princesses out there that think they know everything about peptides, I took peptides my first time in 2014, so count the years, homies. But with all this extra education, we also have the ease of access to information, which causes an ease of access to the supply chain.
Correct.
So we were talking before about kids asking are you natty or not, right?
Yeah.
You've probably been asked that for years. I've been asked that for years. You had an interesting take on your answer to are you natty or not. So if you have a 14 to 18, a teenage kid, usually if someone like that asks you, it's usually someone who's immature.
Right.
And they're asking you for a reason. What's that reason?
Honestly, I'm going to extend that age range. I'm going to go a little bit higher, man. I'm going to go 25. I'm going to go 25 on them.
Yeah.
Because I was at a party recently, and this guy might be watching. It happened. He asked me, "Are you natty or not?" And it's a fad. It's this part of this generation right now where kids are asking that. But my thing is, I understand people, and I understand why they're asking. They look at you and they see you look a certain way, and they automatically assume you took something to get that way you look right now. That they discredit all the work that you've put in, all the years that you've put in, all the weights that you've lifted. They don't ask any of those questions. How long you been lifting? They ask, "Are you natty or not?"
It's not fun to eat chicken rice.
Right. Yeah. So they equate that to you look how you look because you're enhanced. So I mean, when they ask you that, it's like, okay, man, you're just skipping over everything that was done. All you see is, if I say yes, you're gonna say, "Oh, the only reason you look like that is because you're enhanced." That means I have to be enhanced to look like you. If you say no, then they don't know where to go from there. You know, it's like, well, you're not. Oh, you look like, what do you do from there?
Now they're like, oh shit, I actually have to go eat and work out.
Yeah. So
yeah, they don't care that you did all that stuff anyway.
Yeah. So.
what about when it comes to, I came to this personally a few times at our former facility off Winchester. There's someone working out. I can't remember who that one person was. And one of my clients goes, "Oh, they're probably on steroids." I don't know if it's one of the OG guys with their shirts off working out or something. You know, the guys. And I kind of looked at him and I said, "So?" And I looked around the gym at the time, and probably had maybe like 20 people in the gym, trainers and clients. And I said, "There's 6, 7 people in here right now that I know are on steroids." Mm-hmm. And my client was like, "Really? Oh my God, who?" Like, they didn't care who was on their meal plan. Mm-hmm. They didn't care what that person was training.
Right.
They saw someone with a bicep vein and they were a little red tinted skin and sweating a little more, you know, and probably a little angry with a vein in their head. And they're like, "All right, that person's on steroids."
Right.
Okay. And I thought it was funny because they didn't know. And I said, "Well, maybe it's kind of sad that you couldn't pick out who the 6 were out of the 20.
Right.
I said, "But that's the normal now, is that the ease of access to it. It's so easy, and that there's so much use of it and misuse of it that a lot of people can't even maintain a relatively decent physique or size or strength without it because they didn't learn the foundation part."
Correct.
As far as like, what are some of the things that you believe besides dialing in your food, your nutrition, and your training? What is something else that a lot of people don't have that you think should be hammered down first before they ever take a steroid or a peptide or something like that? Because we both know, and all the trainers watching know, yeah, well, of course they're going to tell us to eat good and do our training. Is there other things that we can add to that list?
Managing your stress.
100%.
Yeah.
Because adding testosterone, adding tren, adding some of these hormones, we know that nandrolone works on like your dopamine reward system, right? Hypothalamus in the brain. And so a lot of people experience some forms of depression.
Yes.
And especially if you're in prep, at the start of prep, some people might be taking NPP, a shorter acting form of DECA, nandrolone. Especially as a first prep, they don't know how to manage their stress.
Right.
And now you put something in that can cause a slight amount of depression. Not good.
Yep.
Right. The one that I can think of mostly is sleep.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't get much of it.
Yep. And I agree to that because to me that kind of goes hand with the stress and sleep. You know, it's both. Stress kind of is part of your sleep. You know, and in my scenario, I believe it's kind of like you got to manage it all.
So much more of your life.
Yes.
Better if you sleep, and if you sleep longer, there's less time in the day to get pissed off about stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Chocolate Thunder takes naps.
Let's go.
But
take a nap.
When it comes to the different types of steroids out there, and when it comes to people using them, just like they don't like doing the meal plan and they don't like doing the training first, a lot of them want to skip straight to the hard stuff. Right.
A lot of people like to take these shortcuts and just not educated and take shortcuts. It's just not a win situation.
The word that I see passed around with like some of the younger, like TikTok videos, Instagram reels and stuff, trend. So when a competitor thinks trend, and we've gone through years of competing, and the idea behind that steroid specifically has vastly changed in the last like at least 10, 12 years that I've been around, where before we had these low test, high trend cycles. Like you'd run your testosterone 200 milligrams, and then trend, you could run it 4, 5, 6, whatever, 100 milligrams a day. The idea was to keep your estrogen low so that any progestin side effects from the trend wouldn't combine and make you milk yourself. But now we have a lot of research done on trend showing that, you know, it is very, very good because of its attachment to the glucocorticoid receptor, that it can almost prevent muscle wasting. So in a low dose, we're talking like 100 to 150 milligrams a week. So I see some guys now, even some pros, talking about they're using like 25 milligrams 3 times a week. So that's 75 milligrams total compared to like the 700 that people may have been running 10 years ago.
Exactly.
It's a big difference, especially on your neurologically and psychologically. Is there something that, besides trend going, being the big daddy particle, what would you say is the most abused substance?
I would say probably some orals.
Right.
I would say probably Anavar.
Everyone thinks the Anavar is side effect free.
Right.
So you take more of it.
Yeah.
Right. It's cool.
Yeah. People think it. I feel like it's easy accessible. It's fairly easy to get.
Yeah.
I feel like people, even the research shows that women can take it, and I feel like people even take it with being on test and not on test. I feel like they just take it like it's candy.
So it's prescribable still. There's not many steroids that are still able to be prescribed, and so Anavar is one of the ones that they can use. They use it, I think, with burn patients to prevent muscle wasting, HIV and AIDS patients for muscle wasting, because it is relatively low side effect profile, so it doesn't interact or harm the kidneys and liver as much. While if someone has HIV or AIDS, they are taking medicines that can affect them. So other steroids wouldn't be like in the cards for them. But now with underground labs and international supply chain, like you said, it's a lot more easily accessible. And most people, I think the abuse of orals is because it kicks in fast. You can feel it.
Yep.
Like 4 days on Anadrol, and all of a sudden you gain 5 pounds, and you walk around, your shoulders grew an inch on either side. You're looking like the Michelin tire man. It's kind of cool. But when it comes to that, it's like, did that make you any better for your show?
Right.
If you're doing it for a competition, you usually can't run it long enough to not hurt your lipids or your kidneys, liver. And then we talk about the ones that are probably the safest, which are Masteron and Primo. So currently there's a shortage on the raws, especially for Primo in the last year since early spring 2025. Some Chinese companies got shut down, and they're trying to say in America that it was because of, it rhymes with bentonol production. I don't know if we're allowed to say it on socials. But these Chinese labs make APIs for everybody. They make chemicals for everybody. And so they're trying to say that certain chemicals are being used in the production of Masteron and Primo. But in reality, China doesn't give a flying about what we get out here if they send us whatever. What China doesn't like is when their labs are producing drugs and shipping them to us underground, and then they're not having to pay taxes on it. So that's why the labs got shut down. And it's all about money. China doesn't care if they're exporting that stuff here, So squashing the rumors, that was the main reason. A bunch of shipping companies got caught with it, and they snitched on the labs. So some of the biggest labs last year got shut down. So that's why you're seeing Primo go from $80 a bottle to like $150 a bottle. I saw one supplier last week, $185 a bottle.
Wow.
And so if you guys have been paying that last year, well, I'm sorry, but it shouldn't be that much till now. But those drugs are relatively side effect free. Some people might, have some hairline issues with it because they're DHT derivatives. Other ones, their HDL levels can go down. Your good cholesterol goes down. So nothing is a perfect steroid.
Right.
When it comes to the use of it, I'm going to pitch something to you that I heard recently. I want you to, and I haven't talked to you about this one before, so I want you to honest take. And this is not my opinion. This is something that I heard.
Okay. Shoot.
And it was, if someone actually wants to do it, they're going to do it anyway. And if they want to be a pro, let them fast track it. Let them take it. Let them take more when they're younger, 17, 18, 19, whatever. Let them take it. Because our philosophy was build your foundation, wait till you're 25 plus so you have that. And they're like, well, if you only have 10 years of competition life or 15 years of competition life where you actually can make it, and once you make it, you actually have some time in the pros. Instead, if you're waiting until you're 40, right, to start, what are you even going to be a good pro if you ever were to make it? So they say, let them take it when they're younger, and they can start taking it, use those growing years. They don't have families to worry about. They don't have kids to take care of. They don't have important jobs. They can just, work at the the grocery store or whatever. Let them take their stuff. Let them get huge when they're younger, and their blood work will probably be better than old guys like us taking this stuff. And let them grow when they're younger and they have less responsibilities. As long as they have like a coach to guide them through it, they may end up healthier down the long run because they have guidance and they're younger and healthier bodies. What do you think about that perspective?
Off the top, I think that's a hard no for me.
Yeah.
Hard no for me.
Yeah.
Hard no.
I'm on the fence now. You know,
the reason I said, like, off the top, it's a hard no, because there's so much muscle maturity is a real thing, right? Just imagine if they grow naturally till they're 26, 27, 28, then they start taking something, how much they're going to develop after their muscles have matured. At 16, 17, 18, 20 years old, 22, your muscles aren't fully developed yet. So what are you growing on top of? You know, they haven't developed anything. But I would say, like, if there's an anomaly to somebody that's just like
they were going to be good anyway.
They're going to be really good. This kid is going to be a sponsored athlete. He's getting his blood work done. He's got a trainer that's taking him. The plan is for you guys to be rock together for 10 years. You know, if he's been watched by doctors and everything, I would say, okay, that's the one out of 100 people. You know, maybe this one person can do that. Yeah. If this is going to be your life for the next 10 years, maybe, okay, but not everybody, because that type of advice, like anything else, you give it to somebody, they're going to run with it, and they're going to think that they can just do it. You know?
Right, and they don't do all the other stuff required.
Yeah, they won't do anything else required. They just think, oh, I'm young, I can take it now because it'll help now, and I'll get big faster, and I'll get to be a pro longer, or you know, I'll be able to be a pro sooner. It just doesn't add up, man, and it's gonna hurt their little hearts.
Yeah, literally, their big hearts, their large hearts.
Yeah,
I think what happens what happens to those guys when they're 40, if they start blasting when they're like 16.
Yeah.
Versus if they wait to the 10 more years when they're more mature.
Yeah.
They may have very high success then, but then what have they built for their legacy for life? Right. Now, if that is their life, that's what they want to do. Hey, man, I'm all for you doing whatever you want to do. You know, I'm not going to take that away from you. But they're
not going to like the way they look after when they have to come down or come off. They're not going to like it.
It's going to be way smaller than it would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Way smaller. And then also we think about, well, they may have healthier blood work and may be bigger for that time. 10 years later, they may have worse blood work and be smaller.
Exactly.
So it's like, what's the trade-off, right? So you guys decide your trade-off and what you want to do. As far as blood work and health markers, make sure you get your blood work. Go to Private MD Labs, use code Sean15. See a discount there. Check out, they have the bodybuilder panel, but I would get the men's hormone health checkup panel. It's about $250, $300 to get a more inclusive blood panel. And make sure we reduce harm. What we'll probably do next time is we'll continue with this episode, a couple more topics on performance-enhancing drugs, and we'll talk about some supplements that we can use to mitigate liver, kidney stress, and people give some stuff for people to think about. Because most people want to spend the $50 on a bottle of testosterone, and they don't want to spend the $69 on a bottle of lipid support or heart support.
I think that's a good idea. Matter of fact, I'm going to use that code. I'm going to put in Sean's code, and I'm going to use it. And we may or may not just reveal the results on this, but you got to tune in.
Y'all see next time. See if Coach Jarvis has put his blood work up for y'all to see.
So if you're watching this, leave a comment.
Comment Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, comment Chocolate Thunder, and we'll see where we go from there. We might just have to do that right here on this podcast. Got to hold ourselves accountable, right? Let's go.
I can't get it with Chocolate Thunder. Chocolate Thunder out.
We got to get you a name like that.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, come on. We got to comment and help us come up with Sean for a name for Sean. We need another name for Sean. Yeah. Oh, shit. He already has one. Tune in.
Ask the ladies what it is.
Oh, man.